You know, guys, if it's one thing I know about commies, and I do know commies. Granted, I was a little kid when we left the Soviet Union, so my parents probably know commies better than I know commies. But let's just say I know them. I've come to know them vicariously. But I'll tell you guys, I've dealt with certain people in my life that behave that way, and you're talking about demonic creatures, right? I mean, you've seen it this past few days. You've seen it on display. I think it's a good thing. I guess it's a good thing that we get to see everybody for who they are. During COVID, that was kind of the beginning of it, but here it's like, if you had any doubt about it, there's no more doubts, right? I gotta tell you guys that I think the commies see that we are not reacting in the way that they thought we would react, in the way that they want us to react. And my concern is that they're planning something else. They're planning to create a scenario. You see, they already tried to say that this guy was a right-winger. They tried to push it and push it and push it. They see that nobody believes them. Right? Try to push that idea. So he's not a right-winger. We understand that. Everybody understands that. I think J.D. Vance came out today and said, listen, enough is enough, right? We ain't taking this stuff no more. So I think it was good that J.D. Vance spoke about this. You know? And so, because we did not react in the way that they wanted us to react, in a way that they assumed we would, because, you know, we're like extremists and we're fascists and all that kind of stuff, right? They're going to keep pushing. They're going to create another scenario. This time it's probably going to be a false flag operation. Some kind of false flag scenario. And that's my concern. You know, guys, we have the UN General Assembly coming up, actually on Rosh Hashanah. The irony, right? The world is literally judging Israel in the harshest way possible. You know, as we know, guys, Hashem is truth. And, you know, when a person, for example, passes away, we say, Baruch Dayan Emet. God is the true judge, meaning God is the person, God is the entity, God is the one that weighs everything fairly, every single little thing, positive and negative, and judges us based on that. Unlike humans who judge based on bias, based on hatred, based on, I don't know, being bribed, for example, blackmail, what have you, right? So the General Assembly is on Rosh Hashanah, and so the world dares to judge Israel, you know, whatever, 140 something to 4 against, right? And in favor of a fake country, a 22nd or 23rd Arab country, and a 57th or 58th Muslim country, which exists somewhere, maybe on a different planet, maybe on one of these, floating alien motherships somewhere in space, but it has to exist and must exist, whatever. And it's happening on Rosh Hashanah, and they don't realize that Hashem is judging them. And Hashem sees everything, guys. He sees everything. Okay? So we have that coming up, and I think Hashem is just gonna let this play out. Let this charade play out, as the people, as the Jews will be in shul, shuls that will be protected by armed guards, So it's like synagogues that are protected by armed guards, and the whole world is going to be in the building going against Israel, with the exception of America, Argentina, Hungary, and one other place. Notice, guys, America is America. The last bastion of anything. God. Sorry, guys. That was like out of nowhere. The last bastion of anything free and normal in this world. I really don't like that when people do that. Sorry. Where the hell did he come from? Where was I? Argentina, which is the place where, ironically, every single Nazi who survived, including Eichmann, fled to. And then, by the way, Millet wants to open he's going to start doing investigations, serious investigations about that, and about the bombing of the Jewish center in 1994 by Hezbollah. Then you have Hungary, the place where you have a lot of Jews. That's where, what's his name is from? Elie Wiesel. God bless his memory. And you can go to Hungary, you can go to Budapest today and see, they have the exhibit of shoes next to the river, right? Jewish shoes. People died, perished in the Holocaust. What was the fourth country? I forgot which one. One of the islands. Folks, Hashem sees it. He sees it, my friends. I mentioned soccer the other day, The Israeli soccer team plays their home games these days because none of these teams want to come to Israel because of security concerns. That's the excuse given. They play their home games in Budapest. With like a few fans, not that many fans, in the crowd, in the stands. So yeah, guys. I think these commies are gonna wait a little bit. And they're gonna wait until they have the world's, or there's something else happening, or until there's something that positive is about to come out in favor of humanity, and then they're gonna do what they're gonna do at the same time. Meaning, September 9th, we had those UAP hearings, that Frank and I were anticipating. So what happened the next day? The Charlie Kirk thing. All eyes on that, right? So they're gonna want eyes on this UN thing, right? Against Israel. They're gonna want all eyes on that. It's okay. Hashem is watching anyway. And then, after that, we might get something interesting in between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur that will further illuminate for us who is who. Folks, I don't want anything bad to happen, but I gotta tell you, I, for one, you know, I like the truth, you know. I'm a fan of the truth. You know, my friends and I, we speak a lot. Me and my friends in Israel, and we're all, it's called Truth Fanatics. You know, me and my friend Frank, we have a show called Truth Fanatics. Podcast, long form podcast. And, our problem operating in this world since we're kids, guys like us, is that we are too honest. We're too honest. And again, I'm not patting us on the back, myself on the back or us on the back. I'm not trying to give us a medal. It's actually, we're honest to a fault. We say the wrong thing at the wrong time. You know, we so at times have no filter. We don't know how to do fake diplomacy. We don't know how to put on a fake smile. We don't know how to put on, we don't know how to do any of these things. We don't know how to do like interviews or give like canned responses, like in a can. Prepared anything. So when things like this happen, yeah, it sucks. It really, really sucks. I'm not for it at all. But of course, everything has a silver lining. The silver lining here is, guys, we see who's who, and that's good. That's a good thing. I have a feeling, like I said, these guys are not going to stop. They're not going to stop. They see that they're losing, and they have no choice but to keep going. Like Rabbi Kessin said, the Sitra Achra. As it dies, it fights, like the wicked witch. So you can keep fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. Lying more and lying more and lying more and, fabricating more and twisting more and out of context more, and just, they have no choice, folks. They have no choice. Some of them, they're just looking in, I saw this one lady on CNN. She's looking in the camera and she knows that the person responding to her is saying total BS, and she's looking into, I guess, at her producer, and she's just like, she has a look on her face like, you want me to let this guy talk? Meaning, you want me to let this guy spew his BS? I shouldn't correct him? And she's clearly she's getting instructions not to correct him, right? Folks, among them are people who know that there's a problem and they're afraid to say. Just like the people who knew that there was a problem with Biden, right? Now this guy's writing a book. Oh, yes, I knew that blah, blah, blah. Folks, if he knew, you know what that means, right? That means we had a president for 4 years that was an illegal president. He was the, what was it, the 25th Amendment? There was an amendment that should have been invoked. Folks, I mean, this is like treasonous stuff. This is like, we understand. I don't have to get into this conversation. So, yeah, my friends, they have to keep going. They have to keep going. And, in most communist countries, unfortunately, these people are stopped only when the people rise up. So now, in America, it's a bit of a problem because it's not like a typical communist country where it's like, the communist seize control of everything and means of production and blah, 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 blah. And everybody's, guns and blah. No, it's not like that. It's like, it's still like soft you know, I call it, it's not quite soft tyranny, but it's not hard tyranny. Somewhere in between. It's like a dystopian version, right? Where you're kind of living in a democratic country, but at the same time, it's like, it's tyranny of like the cult members, right? This woke cult. And so, you know, the problem is you can't just go. Again, we're not them. We're not going to go and do what they did to Charlie Kirk. We're not going to go do that to them. The only way we would is if they came at us, you know, like en masse, right? If it was like World War Z, like literal zombies, then it's a different story, guys. It's a spiritual war, my friends. It's a spiritual. It's gonna have to be won spiritually. There's gonna have to be a spiritual revival. There's gonna have to be, you know, quote unquote, so-called Kirov movement, where some of these people are gonna have to, you know, come over to God, whatever that looks like to them. Whether it's their church, whether it's a synagogue, whether it's I don't know what. They're gonna have to. I don't know. Folks, again, I mentioned this in the previous video. If we're talking about acceptance, not approval, acceptance. Hashem is acceptance. Hashem, when you come to Him, you know, we have Rosh Hashanah coming up now, right? Which I mentioned. You come to Shul, Hashem is judging you, and yeah, He's not approving of you based on the laws that He set forth and whatever, and you probably broke some of them, just as I did, right? And everybody else I'm speaking to. But He accepts you. So, folks, we're gonna have to start emulating Hashem. We're gonna have to start accepting people. Yeah, we ain't gotta approve of them. We have to, and then the people who don't approve of the non-approval are gonna have to start accepting that someone doesn't approve of them. You understand? Like the people who are some sexual orientation or some group or some weird whatever, right? If someone comes up to them, I come up to them and say, listen, I don't approve. They're going to have to start like an adult, not a child, understanding, okay, so he doesn't approve. He doesn't mean he's my enemy. He accepts me. Folks, I mean, you know where they don't approve and don't accept? Where approval and acceptance are the same thing? You know where that is, folks? Saudi Arabia and Iran. You know what I'm saying? They don't approve and they don't accept. Right? They come up to the guy and they say, I don't approve of you. And now, to show you how I don't accept you either, I'm gonna shoot you. And that's what they do. Folks, in America, we don't approve, but we what? Accept. And there's one group that just like, again, because nobody ever criticized them when they're kids. Nobody ever told them no. Nobody ever this and that. Their parents just like, oh, okay. And now you're coming to them in adulthood and you're saying to them, yo, you're weird. What? Yeah. Just tears and screaming and videos and, you know, wishing death on a person. Folks, is this normal to you? You see a commercial for jeans. Ah! Folks, it's not normal. It's just not normal. Ah! White supremacist woman, fat shaming. Blah, blah, blah. Folks, this is nuts. This is nuts. Okay. And then those same people, you know, are happy that a guy got shot. Folks, it's a spiritual issue. We clearly see. But it is a spiritual issue. But there are people who wound these people up. Those are the ones that are going to keep going. Those are the ones, folks. You know, the uppers, not the wind-up toys, but the winder-uppers of the toys are the ones that are going to keep going. Those are the real commies, the real Politburo. You know what I'm saying? So, Yeah, guys. So we're kind of in a race against time, race against the clock, so to speak. We just have to bring God into the equation. How we do that is, a one-person job, and the people around us, and just be the example. And that's really it. Okay, guys. That was my evening spiel, and now I'm gonna try to get rid of the mold in my air conditioners. That should be fun. Peace out.